Today, we are talking about food preparation. We talked about food preparation last week and the how to healthfully prepare meals, right? But I don't think I gave enough resources. So on the website rawfoodmealplanner.com, there are free meal plans. There's a whole year of 100% raw meal plans. Then
Uh-huh.
there's a whole year of high raw meal plans. So you eat raw and then you have a cooked dinner. And then I also have custom meal plans and shopping lists available in my coaching programs. If you're interested in that, you could sign up for the 30-day Raw Energy Jumpstart program. I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes. And there's also a free course to boost immunity. There's also a link for that in the show notes. And yeah, and in the 30-day Raw Energy Jumpstart program is obviously the meals and the free meals will help with weight loss.
Okay.
So you made something interesting today.
Yes.
It was polenta with mixed vegetables.
Right. And
Where'd you get a polenta recipe from? That's not Jamaican at all.
remember when I told you that I put a gourmet spin on Jamaican food?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize that Jamaican food is healthy, but it's the way we prepare it.
Hmm.
Now we fix that. We I mean it's cornmeal. It's called yellow cornmeal.
Mm.
But I make sure I go out and get the organic coarse one. It's a different texture and it's nicer to make that dish. And when Jamaicans make it, they make it the same way, but they add some kind of fish to it. So because I mean, I told you before that I lay off the fish.
Yep.
I lay that means it's off for a while. Since COVID-19, I haven't touched anything with flesh. So then I made that without the fish. But with the fish, to be quite honest with you, it tastes very good. But I am acquiring taste now without that fish. And the fish I'm talking about is that codfish, but it's
Yes.
not in the dish. It's very, very delicious. And the way I prepare it, this is why I always tell people that when people when you tell people they can have things without meat or chicken or fish and all that, they think you're crazy. But I tell you, you would never pick up a piece of fish and eat it without seasoning. And it's the same thing with vegetables. Once you season your vegetable, season it to taste. Nothing more delicious.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, that stuff I make, you can eat it cold, but I refuse to. I just, I nuke it a little, take the coldness off it, warm it a little in the toaster oven. But it's just a spin of a Jamaican dish, and it's very delicious. And I use natural stuff in there. Everything is organic.
So so just for the folks watching and listening, there's lots of information about fish in the Facebook group. I know we've talked on the podcast before about the saturated fat. So, if you're trying to lose weight, it works against that. Also, the high cholesterol levels in fish is no good. The high levels of toxicity is no good. And so, anyway, there's more information too about some of the effects of eating fish in the Facebook group. So, if you want to join, and just be surrounded by like-minded people who are on their health journey just like yourself, feel free to join the Facebook group. But you said that it's a spin on a dish, right? And you compared it to cornmeal. But cornmeal, I know of cornmeal porridge, which is like a breakfast thing, but you added vegetables. It looked more like a savory dinner.
Okay, let me explain to you how that was prepared though. You cook it the same way you'll be making porridge with the freshly done coconut milk, because I always do things from scratch. You
Okay.
cook it the same way. The only thing that you make sure you don't do, cook it as soft. Like people familiar with grits, you cook it like how you cook grits.
Mhm.
And I saute the vegetable separate. So when everything is cooked, I just combine it together in that saucepan. And you just lay it out in the soft saucepan. And when it get cold, you slice.
I see. But you eat it hot.
When you get cold, you slice it.
And then you warm it?
You can warm it if you want it warm. You can eat it cold if you want. It tastes delicious either way.
Oh, okay, okay. And but it has to be different than cornmeal porridge because
Well,
it's more of a savory.
with cornmeal porridge, you don't combine it. When you cook it, what I'm trying to say, you cook it the same way you'd cook cornmeal porridge.
Hmm.
The only difference is you don't put any cinnamon or nutmeg in there. What I did with the cornmeal, I just boil it in the milk. That's all. I boil it in the milk, and I put a little sea salt in there while it's cooking. And then when it's cooked, that's when I combine it with the vegetables.
Okay.
So I saute the vegetable, which is I saute it in coconut milk and garlic, and I like dill,
Hmm.
and I put some parsley, onions, and bell pepper and Italian seasoning, and it is delicious.
It came out looking like a casserole, like you baked it.
But you could call it cornmeal casserole. Give it a name, but it's delicious. It's
Yeah.
very nice. A lot of Spanish people make that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spanish
I've heard of polenta, but I've never made it.
just cornmeal. Polenta is just cornmeal.
Yeah. So exciting news, right? The Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast is coming up to its 2 year anniversary slash birthday in June. And June, yeah, I know, right? We've been
Wow.
in this thing for 2 years. and June is actually National Caribbean American Month. So we're
Mm.
doing a huge celebration and we're going to travel the islands. Even though we're in quarantine, we are going to go across the Caribbean.
Wow.
Yes.
I can feel it.
Yes. And so we're going to, of course, start with Jamaica.
Yes.
Yes. So where do you want to go after that, though?
From Jamaica to Barbados.
Barbados. Okay. I couldn't have guessed you would have said that.
Why? 'Cause one of my best friend was from there.
Oh, yeah? Oh, Aunt
Uh,
Margaret. Oh, yeah. So we'll go to Jamaica first, and Barbados, and then we'll travel all the other islands. Over the course of June, we have probably we started changing to do 3 episodes, but we might have to do 4 episodes to get in as many islands as we possibly can.
Well, we could do 2 islands in one day. Some of the islands is not that big.
Well, I already have a list of 8 islands.
Jamaica takes a day.
Yeah, so like a whole episode just for Jamaica, right? um yeah, so I wanted to, speaking of all this fun activity for June,
Right.
I want to talk about balancing work and play because it's a very stressful time right now. And even though there's a lot of people who are unemployed, there are still a lot of people who are working still.
Right. Yeah.
They're either working out in the stores and the hospitals and whatnot, and there's people working from home, and it's been a huge adjustment for folks, and there's a lot of stress. And even before this, people were stressed out. So I kind of want to spend a few minutes just talking about how to balance that. How, even though we're adults and we're adulting, doing all the things and having responsibilities and making sure that we fulfill those responsibilities, we still need to balance playtime.
But you can't play. There is nobody to play with.
Because we're in quarantine, you mean?
No, we keep distance.
Yes. Well,
Oh,
I'm naturally an introvert, so my definition of play is probably a little different than, than most people. Like the way I play, like literally what like brings me back to my childhood, even though this is probably not the same things I used to do as a child, but it makes my heart feel like how I felt when I was a child. And I just want to say thank you so much, Mom, because I mean, obviously it wasn't just you. Um my dad as well. I know I hardly talk about Daddy, but you, daddy, your siblings, grandma, like I had the best childhood.
I think
And
it.
yes, I had the best childhood. And the more I learn and engage with the work that I'm doing, community development and stuff like that, and I coach people, I realize how privileged I am, how blessed I am. I've never gotten a bailout from the government. You were my bailout. you know, there are people my age and older crying about school loans. You bailed me out of my school loans when I was trying to curse out Sally Mae. you know, after I done took my degree, I'm like, why you want this money back? I'm here trying to build a business. You coming after me for some money. Let me get my ROI first. How about that? So I just want to say thank you for that. I don't want a day to go by that, people wait until people pass and like to say certain things. I want you to have all of the messages from now. Like I'm just grateful, immensely, immensely appreciative and grateful.
But can I say something before you get emotional?
Yes.
It's funny that you say that because I was going through some pictures because this is what I do when during the quarantine. I go through all my pictures, I go down memory lane,
Yeah.
and I was looking at you and see you were a very, very happy child growing up.
Yep.
Very happy, to the point you always ask you why you laugh so much.
I smiled all the time.
You were from you were a baby, you were very happy.
Yeah.
And you were loved by everyone. As a matter of fact, I think they actually spoil you. And talk about the bailout and all that. Sam, you said thank you so many times that you're welcome, but you say it so many times, and I know you appreciate it.
Yes.
That's how I like to extend my love to people when they are before I die, because I like to see people happy while I can see them, and if I
Hmm.
can make someone happy, I mean, you're my child, and I mean, that's the least I could do for my children.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're welcome.
So I was saying that, as a child, I just had I remember the feeling inside my body was very light. Like my heart was light and there were lots of bliss moments, like this just bliss state moments. Um and the way I recreate that feeling now as a 33-year-old is literally like by taking breaks in the day. So I do a lot of work on the computer and I'll just like take a break, lay down and put my legs up, and that makes me feel really good. Plus the fact that I get a lot of
Hmm.
and sunlight and even having like a fan or some kind of breeze come in, nature around me, that type of thing like creates this bliss state in me to have this feeling of play. And I don't even have to, just even like laying down and putting my feet up, stretching my legs,
Right.
it's crazy. Like when you get older, these things, they feel really good.
Tell me about it.
The body's different.
Tell me about it. And it's funny. Aging help you to appreciate life.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain about they get up and they get old, and it helps you to appreciate life, and it takes you down to a path sometimes that you had no knowledge of. You're getting down there for the first time, and that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And having some free time to like play games. So I play games on my phone. I read a book or listen to an audiobook, journal. I have a ton of journals. I invested in like 5 journals like way before COVID. So these are like long walks. These are the types of things that excite me and light me up, and they don't involve other people because even as a child, maybe because I was an only child, even though I had a ton. Like by the time I remember one of grandma's latest birthday celebrations, the number was, I don't know if it was that or at her funeral, but the number was that there were 17
Oh,
grandchildren, right?
19. It
So
was her
there's
80th birthday party.
19. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of everybody. So I don't know what number we're up to now, but I had at least 18 other cousins and we got together quite regular. So I didn't really feel like lonely or anything. But
And your Barbie dolls.
well, yeah, and but I even my computer games too. But I was just very like I'm just an introvert true and true. Like the best some of the best memories I have from my childhood don't necessarily involve other people. It was just like
But also,
me at home doing my thing, chilling, like, food in the fridge, food in the kitchen, entertainment on TV. I have my computer, like I had all my things, just
that
comfort.
was that was your COVID, but I don't know what year that was.
Yeah, no, that was like I just had a lot of comfort. And so I just recreate that now. I don't know. What is it like for you? How do you connect, even at your age, like to playtime?
I'm like you, and I don't consider myself an introvert. I just like me some me time. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like people, I don't know. I think you gotta love yourself to be with yourself. And I pray to God that I hope I'm not in love with myself.
You mean like a narcissist?
It's scary because sometimes I'm out and I'm rushing to come home for what? There's nobody in the house, but I come home to me
Yeah.
because we both are quarantined in two different houses right now. Of course, the situation. We get stuck
Yeah.
miles apart, right? But the thing that bothers me, because I'm a hugger, I love to hug. And this is, I was crying this morning. I was getting emotional. I was speaking to someone on the phone, and I tell them the only damage that this does to me, it don't do any damage. It only damaged me because I can't hug people no more. I don't think
Mm.
I'll ever be able to hug again, and that hurts me. And I say, my arms are not wide enough to go around my whole body. My body probably too big. My arms are too short.
I've been meaning to read that book, the five love languages or something like that, because obviously yours is touch.
Oh my goodness. Whew.
I mean, I need a hug once in a while, but probably like every 3 months. Not that not that regular.
Oh, I love to, I hug and I hug and I hug and I hug. Oh, I have a hugging spirit. Cause my spirit always, even out there, I don't have to know somebody. I told you the story. I hugged the lady in the street, and
Yeah.
I told somebody I knew, and she says, "Oh, I think you got the wrong person
You hugged a stranger in the street.
in the street because you look like somebody I knew."
So
And
you
I
just
said,
went up to her and just grabbed her up?
"Because you look like somebody I know," and I
Yo,
said,
that's assault.
"No, you can't do that no more, though. You
I
cannot do
mean,
that."
when could you ever, like, how did you
This was
only you could get away with something like that?
many years ago. The lady was about 75 years old, and she looked like
Oh.
I know. And she says, "I'm so sorry, but you give such nice hugs." I said,
Yeah, I remember, speaking of which, this is probably kind of an aside, but remember we were talking, I think we talked about it on the podcast in 2018 or early 2019 about the service that some people were giving. They were hugging consultants or something like that, hugging, like, and you pay them to come and cuddle you and spoon with
right,
you
yes,
from up.
yes, have a service like that. Yeah.
I think that whole industry might be in jeopardy.
Oh, it's dangerous. But that was the biggest mistake I made. But it was okay because the lady was nice. She
Yeah.
was nice.
It
But they
could have
also have
ended
a
really
service.
bad.
I love. They also have a service in the hospital where they call them the border babies.
Uh-huh.
They're looking for people to lift these baby and give them hugs because
Oh
they're not
yeah.
by human. But I just love to hug people. And sometimes hugging is so essential because you go to, some people just want a hug. They don't want you to tell them what to do. They just want somebody, they just want to feel like they're wanted or they're
Hmm.
loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that COVID-19 deprived me of is hugging.
Have you thought about getting a teddy bear
I have, when was the last time you visit your house? I have some teddy bear. They're not big enough for me.
to hug? Because I have a little doggy one. that I cuddle with all the time because a real dog is just not hygienic, you know. Um, this one I can actually launder. So,
Please don't get yourself in trouble talking about real dog is not hygienic.
well, it's
Let-
not. these people are. These people have their dogs in their beds, licking their faces. Come on.
Okay, another subject, another time.
I mean, you know, in Jamaica, the dogs are outside, so it's a different culture completely.
Stay blessed, everyone. By the time you hear this podcast, I know this pandemic will be over,
You think
and
so? I doubt it.
yes, we'll start our new normals. All we have to do is to get colorful face covering, and I have no problem with that. Guess you what? I save on lipstick.
Oh yeah. I hope people are coming into like, you know, I don't need face, you know,
No,
makeup
I tell you
anymore.
something though. This open up people eye to a lot of things. What's real and what's not real.
Mhm.
Things sometimes happen for a purpose. And instead of us pay attention to the outward of people, let's start looking to the person's soul. Like the book I'm reading, Capturing a Woman's Soul. It's we start need to look at people's soul instead of looking at their faces.
Yeah.
Pretend that we're all blind and we can only feel a person by their touch. Oh, that's why I miss touch so much. Because touch teach you a lot. But I hope we can touch again. Be blessed, everyone.
Hey, are you looking to release excess body fat, sleep better, and feel more comfortable in your body? I can help you get there. Join me as we go through goal setting, meal planning, establishing an exercise routine that's fun, and properly hydrating your body for weight loss success and optimal health. Get the individualized attention you need to finally reach your health goals. The number one challenge people face with reaching their health goals is consistency. By the end of this program, you'll have a consistent exercise routine and consistent healthy eating habits. I've also included some bonus material on the exact strategies I use to figure out what areas in my body needs the most support and what to do to support and nourish it. So click on the link to get started, and I look forward to seeing you soar to your goals.